Hunt, 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 hunt.
Welcome to the Where to Hunt podcast, the podcast that connects public land hunting enthusiasts. I'm your host, Eric Clark, and I don't talk to you about what I know. I talk to you about what I want to know. Today is April 1st, 2015. This is episode 15, and today I want to know what you think about technology in the hunting industry. It's been my perspective recently that technology is, well, whatever, it's everywhere. It's been everywhere. It's been intruding on our lives for quite some time now. There is no one left that I am personally aware of under the age of, in some instances, like 5 or 6 that don't have a cell phone in their hands, and a smartphone at that, not even just a cell phone. Everyone has a computer, everyone has a tablet, an iPad, iPhone. Google Glasses is still working on their what's called wearable technology or wearable smart devices like the iPhone Watch and the Samsung Galaxy Watch. There's just so much stuff. In lieu of that too, I happen to work in technology, so hunting is a real true escape for me, and it ends up becoming this thing where I struggle with, do I take the phone out into the woods with me or do I leave it behind? And here's the problem, is that these frickin' smartphones have become so useful for so many different reasons that it's really hard not to. And it ends up creating this disconnect from nature. So some of the things I want to talk about is I want to know what you think about technology in the hunting industry. Like I said, do you use your smartphone a ton when you're hunting? And if so, how? In lieu of that, hunting apps, for instance, specific applications that are developed for the hunting industry. There's animal call apps, there's shooting apps, there's solar lunar apps, there's rangefinder apps, there's GPS apps, weather apps. There's an app for all sorts of stuff in relation to hunting. Not to mention, you have your camera on your phone. It also takes video. You're never going to be far away from your social media sites, so you'll know when frickin' Johnny shot his buck 2 seconds after he did it because he's taking a selfie behind the antlers. It's just insane. So some of these things can be quite useful, though. For instance, I looked up some of these applications that exist out in the hunting industry, and for those of you who don't know, oddly enough, Where to Hunt, Eric, actually had a mobile application developed under the name Where to Hunt, and it's a GPS-based hunting app. This is not a plug for myself. I'm just saying I wanted to see how that would work because everyone is using their cell phones when they walk out into the woods. Okay, that's a tangent. So getting back on track, one of the applications that I did look up that I wasn't aware of is called Ballistic. And what this application does is it basically will tell you everything you need to know about your shot placement. It tells you the bullet weight. You would plug that in. You would plug in the bullet weight, the muzzle velocity, the range at which you're shooting from, the distance, the wind speed, wind direction, all these things, and it will help you figure out what you need to do to adjust your sights to shoot more accurately. Now, this application has almost 5-star reviews across the board, and I don't see any real negative ratings to this app, and it's $20. It's $20 on the iTunes marketplace, the App Store, what have you. It's pretty crazy. So I've never used that app. I didn't even know it existed. I'm just starting to look into this topic a little bit more because these apps are everywhere. They're just not going away. I was at a friend's house for a poker game over the weekend on Sunday, and there's a bunch of turkeys outside. I took a couple photos, of course, and within a minute I downloaded a turkey call app and started playing every freaking call I could to try to call these turkeys in. They weren't having it. But that's just one of those things. At what point will these devices, if you bring out a Bluetooth speaker in your smartphone and you have reception, is that going to be better to use those applications that play back sounds of real turkeys as opposed to using your mouthpiece or the whatever you would buy for any type of animal, for instance? So it's just so inundated. There's just so many applications here. Trail cams is another one. There are trail cameras that have live streaming capabilities. Granted, a particular one like that is, like $450. And speaking of live streaming, I'm actually live streaming right now through a new application that Twitter had launched called Periscope. I'm trying that out. So far, I have 0 watchers. So those of you listening know that you will be hearing this at the time that no one was watching. I was hoping that in the instance that someone would watch, I could have some questions and feedback in real time to address. But so far, nothing there. But think about that for a second, too. There's mounts that are made for your gun and for your bow that will hold your smartphone. There's obviously already, the GoPros have become incredibly popular in the hunting industry for obvious reasons. But think about if you're hunting and you're live streaming your hunt. Your friends and family or just any onlookers come across that live feed and there's a deer entering the picture. I mean, that's something to watch. That's pretty crazy. So again, it begs the question, do I bring my smartphone with me or do I leave it in the truck? At what point is it enough? At what point is it too much? Where do you draw the line? Has it already been crossed? So it started with GPS units, and now these freaking phones do everything. They do everything. People use them as freaking flashlights, for crying out loud. I wouldn't be surprised if these things come with like black lights so you can pick up on a blood trail or something. It's just ridiculous. So just a rant, a quick episode. Today is already Wednesday, and I wanted to get an episode up live this week and into the Cume. I'm drawing a blank on other technological advances that exist right now. There's enough of them. There's new bow and arrows or bows that come out. I know Matthews developed a new, they call it the no cam bow. So there's the dual cam, and then there's the solo cam or the single cam, and now there's a no cam. There's just so much. So at what point do you, just run the complete other direction, get a long bow, and wear some regular old camis without scent lock and scent proof, get some freaking moccasins, and just start stalking deer like you're a damn Indian out there? Because at some point it's just like, I don't know. It's exhausting talking about it. I'm talking fast. I'm all wound up about it. Video is so big in hunting. Everyone's trying to record their stuff with these DSLR cameras and the GoPros and these really nice shots, and they're going ahead and walking way ahead in the trail, setting up their camera, hitting their record button, running back, and then they're walking and then cutting the scene and doing post-production stuff to make it look like super cool, so there's all this high production value in it. I feel like there's just something that's being a little bit lost in the hunting industry, and it's kind of interesting. On the other side, here I am ranting about this stuff, and we've developed a mobile hunting application, so does that make me a hypocrite? I'm not really sure, though I can't say a lot of people have used it a whole lot yet because I have a very small impact on the hunting community at large. So, I want to say thanks for listening. Again, if you can give me a rating on iTunes, that would be fantastic. I'd love for more people to hear the podcast. I like to devote my time to this when I can. There hasn't been a whole lot going on in the Facebook realm. It's starting to get nice outside, so less people are spending their time indoors dealing with this technology stuff and spending more time outdoors. In addition, the only big thing that came across our Facebook page that caused some sort of waves and controversy was the release of 26 elk in Jackson County. I get to see some pretty interesting statistics on what happens behind the scenes on that Facebook page, Where to Hunt Wisconsin, Facebook/Where to Hunt Wisconsin, or whatever it is. There were 8,000 eyes on that particular comment. 44 people shared it. 117 people liked it, and about 30 people commented on it. So it's just interesting that it's that controversial. As far as I understood, there was an elk herd pre-existing in Wisconsin that the DNR was trying to kind of get populated. And what I'm doing right now, I'm actually Googling real quick. I forget where Jackson County is in Wisconsin. And a lot of people had said, hey, this is going to be a great feast for the wolves. Way to go, DNR. You're feeding the wolf herd. And Jackson County, let me see if I can just find it here, because I think there's a Jackson, Wisconsin, and then there's a Jackson County, Wisconsin. So Jackson's kind of by West Bend, but Jackson County is more slightly north of La Crosse, in between La Crosse and Eau Claire. I don't know that there's a real big wolf population there. I don't know that there's been a lot of reported packs or sightings of wolves or wolf problem there. So I have to imagine that the elk herd will be fine there overall. I'm not sure. Obviously, I create the disclaimer at the beginning of every episode that I don't talk about what I know. I talk about what I want to know. So I actually really would like to know more about what's going on here. I haven't had a whole lot of time to research it. I saw it come through in a feed. I offered it up to share to see what everyone had to say about it. So that all said, I will let everyone enjoy their day. Again, if you give me an iTunes rating, that'd be fantastic. I'd really, really, really appreciate it. It'd mean a lot to me. And if you hunt public. I'm a huge proponent of public land hunting. I feel that our culture in general, the hunting community, has looked down upon public land hunting. A few bad eggs have ruined it for the whole bunch, and that's just not how it actually is. It just isn't reality. So, public land hunting is something I'm very, very proud of. It's how I grew up, and it involves more work. In fact, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, I'm actually going out to scout new hunting land, public land that I've never been to, never hunted it. I've done a lot of research up to this point to determine what the numbers are for deer taken in that area, what the DNR estimates as a population, so on and so forth. Looked at a lot of the land and the lay of the land and where the food sources are, where the water is, that kind of stuff. And I'm really, really, really excited to get out there this spring to scout that land for the upcoming season and fall. But have a great day. Thanks for listening, and hunt public.
Looking for a spot to hunt? Download the free Where to Hunt app for your smartphone today. Avoid hunters, see less people, see more deer. With the Where to Hunt app, you will know where other hunters are before you see them. Just search Where to Hunt from the App Store to download today.